So, so today it's my first birthday without my mom, and I don't know what to say or do. I'm having money problems. I'm having just life problems, and I'm just so tired and so afraid for the future, and I don't know what to do. I don't understand why God takes away people. You know, I guess I shouldn't complain because I know people a lot younger than me have lost both their parents, but I wasn't ready. I don't know if anybody's ever ready, but one of the worst parts of dealing with grief is all the things that you know are not gonna happen, and you just wish so bad that they could happen. And there's this hole inside of you that never feels like it's gonna fill up again. And it's lonely. Don't like to cry with people seeing, but you know what? This is part of the journey. Part of the journey is letting yourself cry. And I'm doing that. I don't know what else to say or do. I just wish that my mom was with me now. And my dad. And I would do anything. I cannot think of anything I wouldn't do to have them back here with me. I can't think of anything I wouldn't do. And I don't know if that's selfish because my mom especially suffered so much. And I think of those last days and I just wanted her to not be miserable anymore. And my dad passed away in 2014. My mom passed in 16. She had cancer. And he had gone in for a heart surgery. The heart surgery worked. And he was okay. He had just fallen down the stairs, I think a couple of weeks prior. And sometimes when I'm going down those stairs, it's like I can see him there. He didn't fall because of that or anything. And we would fight, you know, all the time, but I still love my dad. After they had the operation, they found out that an infection had gotten in his blood. And it made his skin all covered in red. And they kept pushing him to get him walking again, and to get him up and ready to go home. And he kept telling them that something was wrong. And they didn't want to believe it. And then it got really bad. And he was right, he had sepsis. And the poor man would walk just to go home to make the nurses happy, to do what he was supposed to do. And he did it. And it still took him. My mom, she'd been dealing with cancer. And she asked the doctor what she could do to have one more day with me. And she said she wanted to do anything she could to be with me. But it kept getting worse. And they told her she was gonna die. And they told her alone in a hospital room when I wasn't even there with her and nobody was there with her, and they told her alone. And I hate that. I showed up about 20 or 30 minutes later. I'd been at work. She told me. And I didn't want to believe it. She knew, but I didn't want to believe it. And she hugged me. She hugged me so close. And she told me to look up and to get help when I needed it. And then the most cruel thing, she started getting better. She got better. And she got to come home for one day before things, started getting bad again. And she was doing okay. And then one day, I was at work, and she told me that she wasn't responding anymore, and that I guess it was a coma. The time I ever thought of that. And they wanted me to be there. And I did. I don't remember if that was the time that I came when they told me. Sometimes it's fuzzy, but they called me and they wanted me to come. And they weren't the nicest on the phone, saying, oh, when we say you should get there, you should get there. But I was at work, and I had to do my best to get there when I could. And people might, say that's awful of me. I work in childcare, and I couldn't leave until, enough staff was able to take care of the kids. And when I got there, the whole medical team was in her room, and I didn't know what to do. I felt like it wasn't real. And I just cried so hard. The kind of crying I'm doing now, where it's your whole body just shakes and sobs. And the nurses were so nice to me. And they had me sit down and they got me a drink. And they made sure I called some friends to be with me. And my friend's mom, she did come, and I think he came too. And they asked me if I wanted them to put something on her. I don't remember what it was. It would have extended our time, but it wasn't helping her to come back from the cancer was still taking her, it would have just left her in pain for longer. And at first I said yes. And my other friend who was there whispered to me, tell them no. And I knew in my heart that that was the right thing to do. So I said no. She hung on for a few days, still at the hospital, where they could get her stable. But she wasn't awake. And I went in one day by myself and I sat down and I said all my goodbyes to her. And I told her she could go to heaven and it would be okay. And I have to stop now and say I had and still have so much guilt over not wanting to stay with her. Because you would think the most natural thing would be to want to stay and be by the side of the person that's dying. That's the right thing, I feel like, that you should feel. But every time I visit her and she wasn't doing well, and I'd see the machines, even when she wasn't that bad, all I wanted to do was run. I just wanted to run out of the building. And I would dread going to visit. I tried. But my mom visited my dad every day. And sometimes I couldn't even make myself stay for an hour. And I worried for so long that I wasn't doing it right. And I'm starting now to realize that it wasn't me doing something wrong. It was because I was hurting to let go. And that's real love. Anyway, they transferred her to a nursing home. She had gone to rehab a few times during this cancer spell. She'd been in the hospital for a while, and they'd think she was doing better, and she would do bad, bounce back, whatever. But this last time that I'm talking about now, excuse me, it was one nursing home, Kimwell, that she absolutely hated, and I would not send a dog there. I would not send anyone there. She hated it. And I will say, Kimwell in Fall River, Massachusetts, horrible, terrible place. And I told them when she was dying, they said that I could take her home or I could have her go into rehab again, and it would be like a hospice care thing that I'm still paying off now because I couldn't take her home and deal with it by myself. I couldn't do it. I didn't have the mental ability to be able to do it, and that's something I have to reckon with because I have guilt over that too. She went to a different nursing facility, and I would go and visit. And on my last visit, my two best friends had come with me, and we held our hands, and we said kind of a prayer. And I don't know if it was the next day or a couple of days. Sometimes it gets a little blurry to me because I was going through so much. Not to want any more sympathy, but I had gotten C. diff during this whole thing because she did have bowel cancer. Um, and so it was just, my body was giving out on me. And I don't remember if it was the next day, but I got a call. I believe it was 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 or 8:30, I don't remember exactly, but around 8 a.m. And it was from the nursing home. And I knew when I picked up the phone, that's what they were going to tell me, that she was gone. And the first thing that I felt was an immense sense of relief that she wasn't suffering anymore. And even, going to therapy. Well, I'm trying to go into therapy actually. I haven't yet. But even when going to bereavement group, um, it's something I also deal with it, feeling relief at that call. Sorry, my dog Bailey, she's getting all upset that I'm crying. She doesn't like it. And I'm gonna end soon because I know this is getting kind of long. But I felt a lot of grief over that. And here it is now. It's gonna be a year in September. Right now it's July 21st. Actually it's the 22nd now because it's 1:10 a.m. But I just had my birthday, my first birthday without mom. And it's gonna be a year in September. And anybody who tells you that you're going to be at this stage 5 months, 6 months, 1 month, 2 months, whatever. Some days I'm great, and then other days I can barely get out of bed. So just know that that's normal. It sucks. It hurts. Things are scary, but it's normal. So thank you for being with me on this journey. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. Good night.